Did you know that there was once a time in post-war Japan when cars painted red or white were banned? Yes, red and white, colors of the Japanese flag, were deemed too nationalistic for personal use. But in a war-torn country trying to rebuild from rubble, one man couldn't care less about rules like that because he was busy building something far more powerful than paint or policy. He was building a dream. His name was Soichiro Honda. Soichiro Honda was born to a blacksmith father and a weaver mother. His village had no roads, no electricity, just fields and fire. At age 8, he saw his first car, a Ford. It was just passing through. But to little Soichiro, it was a machine from another planet. He followed the tire tracks barefoot for miles. That moment changed everything. By 15, he left home for Tokyo with nothing but a change of clothes and a dream to work with machines. He became an apprentice at Art Shokai, a garage that repaired foreign cars. He slept on workshop floors, ate once a day, and worked 18 hours straight, often without gloves, burning his hands. But Honda wasn't there to work. He was there to learn. In 1937, after years of repairs, Honda decided to build his own thing, Tokai Seiki, a company that made piston rings. He bet everything on it, spent all his savings, borrowed money, designed rings from scratch. His first big goal, Toyota. They came to inspect his parts, and they rejected them. Why? His piston rings were technically flawed. They didn't meet even basic tolerances. His pride? Crushed. His money? Gone. Most people would blame the system. He enrolled in engineering night classes, not to get a degree. He famously said, "A diploma is just a piece of paper. I want skill." He studied metallurgy like a madman. Day in the factory, night with books. Over 50 prototypes later, Toyota finally accepted his parts. Tokai Seiki took off. He built a factory, employed hundreds, and just when he was ready to breathe, a major twist happened. World War II began. His factory was bombed twice. Everything he'd built was reduced to rubble. Then came a massive earthquake. The second factory collapsed like matchsticks. Honda's dream? Crushed again. He sold what was left to Toyota for a fraction of its value. The man who had clawed his way up was now broke, jobless, and in his 40s. Post-war Japan was a wasteland. People were hungry, cities were gone, fuel was scarce. But where others saw ruins, Soichiro Honda saw opportunity. He found scrap engines from military radios, welded them onto bicycles, and started selling them. That's it. That's how Honda began. Not with cars, not with dreams. The bikes were ugly, loud, and rough, but they worked. He called them the Type A. People started buying them. He sold out fast, so he built more, and then more. But scaling a factory takes money, and Honda had none. That's when he met Takeo Fujisawa. Fujisawa didn't just bring capital, he brought strategy, pricing models, distribution plans, marketing thinking. Together, they built the perfect storm of innovation and execution. Post-war Japan was not just destroyed, it was ashamed. Cities were bombed, spirits were broken, national pride had turned into silent guilt. Even symbols became sensitive. In fact, in those early years after World War II, it was prohibited by law to paint car bodies in red or white, the colors of the Japanese flag. Too nationalistic, too bold, too painful a reminder of what had been lost. Red and white were seen as colors that belonged to the past, not the fragile present. But in 1949, when Soichiro Honda released his first full-fledged motorcycle, the Dream D-Type, he didn't just break speed records, he broke a rule. He painted it deep red, trimmed with clean white lines, not as a political statement, but as a personal one. To him, red wasn't war, it was courage. White wasn't imperial. It was purity of intent. And with that single act of rebellion, Honda wasn't just building machines. He was painting Japan's comeback in colors that had been taken away. Honda personally tested every machine. He once fired engineers who weren't passionate enough. He wasn't building a business, he was building a legacy. But sales didn't come easy. They got mocked by local competitors, mocked for their designs, mocked for being garage engineers. Soichiro took it personally. He once said, "If you hire someone just to do a job, they'll never give their soul. I want people who bleed engines." And bleed they did. Eventually, Eventually, the Super Cub came out, and the rest, as they say, is history. By the mid-1950s, Honda had become Japan's top motorcycle brand. But Soichiro wasn't content with Japanese roads. He had his eyes set on America. In 1959, Honda opened its first overseas subsidiary in Los Angeles. They brought over lightweight bikes like the Super Cub, but Americans didn't take them seriously. Harleys ruled the road, big, loud, muscular machines. And here came these scooters. Then came the twist. In 1963, Honda launched the now legendary campaign, "You meet the nicest people on a Honda." It was genius. Motorcycles were no longer just for rebels. They were for students, moms, teachers. The ad didn't just sell bikes, it changed culture. By 1965, Honda was selling over 100,000 motorcycles a year in America, and by the end of the decade, Honda had become the largest motorcycle manufacturer in the world. Honda's next adventure, the racetrack. Honda entered Formula One in the 1980s and shocked the racing world. With Ayrton Senna behind the wheel, Honda-powered cars won multiple championships, including the 1988 season, where they won 15 out of 16 races. At the same time, Honda launched the NSX, a supercar co-developed with Senna himself. It was everything a Ferrari was, but reliable. By the 1990s, Honda had the best-selling car in America, Honda Accord, the best-selling bike in Asia, Honda CD100, the most dominant engine in F1. But the best was yet to come. In 2006, Honda did something no one expected. They launched a jet, the Honda Jet, with engines mounted above the wings for better aerodynamics. Laughed at by the aviation industry at first, until it became the most delivered light jet in the world by 2020. At the same time, Honda released Asimo, a humanoid robot capable of walking, running, even dancing. Other automakers were chasing the next sedan. Honda was chasing the next frontier of mobility. From a piston ring reject to a global brand, Honda built more than just vehicles. They built an idea that no dream is too big, no failure too final. Today, Honda operates in over 150 countries, manufactures over 30 million engines per year, has sold more than 400 million motorcycles, is the world's largest engine maker, has pledged to go 100% electric by 2040. Whether it's a scooter in Bangalore, a Civic in California, a robot in Tokyo, or a jet flying over the Atlantic, Honda proves one thing again and again. It's not horsepower that moves the world. It's the power of dreams. Soichiro Honda stepped down from Honda Motor Co. in 1973. He wasn't interested in titles or boards. He wanted the next generation to build, but he never really left. He'd drop into labs unannounced, test prototypes, argue with engineers, push for better. Until one day, his own engine began to fail. In the early 1990s, his health declined. The man who once outran failures and disasters now faced the one thing he couldn't fix. On August 5, 1991, Soichiro Honda passed away in Tokyo. He was 84. The cause? Liver failure. There was no state funeral, no flashy ceremony, just hundreds of employees, engineers, and old mechanics quietly paying tribute. One man softly said, "He didn't go quietly. He roared all the way." Today, every time you hear the quiet hum of a Honda engine, whether it's on a highway in Delhi, a mountain trail in Peru, or a jet flying above Tokyo, you're hearing the echo of a dream forged in fire, tempered in failure, and launched from a bicycle with a war surplus engine. From red and white being banned, to a company that now wears those colors globally with pride. That's not just engineering, that's faith. Faith that even a blacksmith's son can build machines that move the world. Soichiro Honda didn't just build engines. He rebuilt confidence in a nation, in a generation, and in all those who dared to dream. Because the world may run on fuel, but it moves forward on the power of dreams. This is Honda. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories from the world of business, strategy, and innovation. Until next time, stay curious.